This is Frank Fantini. We are with Danny Gladstone, CEO of Ainsworth Technologies, a company that's undergoing a tremendous amount of change. But before we begin, I want to thank you, Danny, for Ainsworth being a sponsor, our overall sponsor for the content that we are delivering this year at G2E, and also the sponsor for these CEO one-on-ones. We started doing this about 4 years ago, and it is really, really, really impressive how important these videos have become to an awful lot of people. And so we appreciate that support because it's not inexpensive doing these things. As I had mentioned, Ainsworth is undergoing a tremendous amount of change, and two things that are great examples of that is on this Friday you're going to have a ribbon cutting for a very big new facility here in Las Vegas. And also, Novomatic is buying a 53% share. They will soon be the majority owner of Ainsworth. Can you tell us just a little bit about the changes that are happening here at your company?
Can I start? Thanks for the thank you about the sponsorship. It's a pleasure. We want to support this. We think the whole concept that your company does is good, and that's why we do support it. The building, yeah, it's 300,000 square feet. We moved in February. It's been functional since then, and it's a beautiful building, and it makes a statement for us as a company, an Australian listed public company. It gives us a bit more foothold, and I think it sends a serious message to the North American and the Americas, and that we're here and we mean business. The facility will support our growth. We've now increased our engineering and game development and a number of things there, and obviously with more room there's more things we can do.
Novomatic, which I think most people know, is an enormous Austrian-based gaming country, a very diversified company. They're going to soon own 53% of Ainsworth by having purchased your founder's shares. How will that work out, and what will it mean for Ainsworth's development?
Okay. Well, in the short term, it's business as usual. As a publicly listed company, they're buying 53% of the shares, so they're a major shareholder as opposed to an owner. And it's great to have a company with the expertise and the synergies in gaming that obviously we're going to feed off in the future. At this particular stage, till the regulatory approvals are finished, we have 3 agreements with Novomatic what we're going to do. The first one is that, luckily for us, they're going to take 2,000 machines off us over the next 2 years and install them in their operations in Europe, which is a great opportunity for Ainsworth. Hopefully it's a good opportunity for Novomatic to get a bit more variety in some of their own. We have an agreement to work together online, supply content. We've both got businesses that support each other, so on these heads of terms we've signed an agreement for that over the next 2 years. And the other scenario that is an immediate play is we have a intellectual property agreement between each other where we can take their product and develop it and put it in our cabinets in the Australia and North American markets, and vice versa. They can take our product and use it in some of the European markets. So in the short term, the solid plan is to complete that over the next 2 years, get used to knowing each other, and as you explained, Novomatic's got a lot of interests in the gaming industry and in different parts which we haven't. It'll be beneficial for us as we grow together as a partner.
It may be hard to do because you are going to have this new partner, but if you were to look out, say, 3 years, what would Ainsworth Technologies look like, do you think?
Well, I think the company's had organic growth, and I think that'll continue. I think there'll be an accelerator of after a period having access to more product lines that we would have never probably developed. Novomatic doesn't trade in Australia or any of those areas at all, so we've got full access to their product line in Australia. The same will occur in other areas in America and Asia and this and that. So I think the company will be a lot stronger. It'll have a lot more variety in the product and the offerings it's going to have, and hopefully we'll be creeping up in the size. It's hard to predict how everything's going to pan out, but if you see the synergies, we very rarely cross over. So that's one of the really good things about this share price deal.
Last year, the buzzword at G2E was skill-based gaming, and we know we're going to see some developments off that from the manufacturers this year.
Yep.
We've also had new buzzwords come up, like esports seems to be the hot one this year. Social gaming and interactive is still a developing area. How does Ainsworth see these new emerging forms of gaming? And I guess we can talk about virtual sports and virtual reality as well. How do you see those playing out, and what is Ainsworth's role in those new forms of gaming at present?
Well, I'm a little bit, this is my opinion, I'm a little bit skeptical about the skill-based games in gaming. There's a lot to say introducing new types of product in there. Will it bring more people into the casinos? Will it not? It's been tried before, and unless you get a game that's still got a bit of volatility and can give the gambler a bit of action, I'm a bit sceptical of how they work. In saying that, we'll try to develop some games. We've got some negotiations which we'll announce later in the year with some people who are in the amusement side to try to fit amusement into gaming. But I don't think it's going to take over the traditional gaming. The virtual sports and all those games and reality situations, they'll grow. There'll be markets that'll grow, but I think it'll get back to the traditional people. As they're in a stage of their life, they'll like this sort of gambling or that sort of entertainment, and as they get older, it comes back to the traditional game. So, as Len Ainsworth says many times, he said, people just, as they get older, they come back to the traditional gaming. So I don't think it's going to change that much.
Right. Should folks visiting the show this year, what are the one or two things they absolutely must see when they come by the Ainsworth exhibit?
Well, we've got, we're traditional land-based machine. We're releasing two new hardware configurations. One we call the Ainsworth 600 and one the 640. Now they're both very spectacular design machines with a variety of games, some participation games, licensed game. King Kong is a licensed game that'll come up, and everyone that's seen it so far has said, wow, that looks sensational. But there's over 80 new games in the 600 series going to be released on the stand there, and there's 6 or 7 licensed games like King Kong, the Free Amigos. We're lucky enough to have a game called Magnificent Seven, and the movie's coming out next week, so I don't know if we can get Ainsworth underneath on the movie rights, but we'll try anything we do for a bit of free advertising. So there's some good stuff to see on our stand.
Okay, great. You're a public company and you trade in Australia. What would you like investors to best understand about Ainsworth?
Well, I mean, I think for the US, people got to understand that in comparison, the stock market's a very small operation. There's not a lot of gaming companies in Australia. There's Aristocrat, ourselves, Crown, Tabcorp, and you should be naming them. You cover them better than I do. So, we're judged on the local performance. I mean, we had a magnificent result this year. The Americas was up 40%. But competition was stiff in Australia. But we're judged on the Australian result because that's where they focus on. So you've got to remember that. The company is an international company, but the trading in Australia has its limitations.
Would you someday dual list maybe in the US?
I think there's an opportunity for us to look with the possibilities when Novomatic come up at, maybe dual listing or even moving the listing. The Americas could become a head office. I think that's something that our new major shareholders would have to consider. But I think we're going to need a couple of years to keep going, get a bit more growth, settle the place down. We've got a good start with the building, the product, the organic growth we've had. So we've got 7% of ship share in the last quarter, and that's fairly significant for us.
We've covered a lot of ground here in a very short period of time. Anything else you'd like folks to know about Ainsworth?
Ainsworth's no. I think really the Ainsworth is about developing games and hardware for land-based machines, and that's what we try to put a quality into the game that the people will get entertainment, also get their bang for the buck. But there's a gambling factor in there. You know, let's not shy away. We make gambling machines, and we're proud of that, doing that.
Right. I think that's a good thing to say, because you know, when you talk to some of the companies and they get carried away with all the new gizmos, but you do kind of forget. You can kind of forget that there is that core customer there who's still your business.
Well, people like to gamble, and that's their free will. You know, I think this industry's unfairly targeted sometimes by minorities who, and the only reason they do it is it gives them an opportunity to get themselves some press. But it's a good industry, and you know, we cater to the people who want to play our machines.
Danny, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Frank. Great to see you.